Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So thank you so much, sir, for inviting me and having such a lovely introduction of me. So I am doing this from last 3 years. So I started as a personal trainer. So I'm like, I'm like a fitness addict. I like to train people. I like if somebody is getting healthy, strong, and this fitness is not only helping you physically, it is helping you mentally as well. So but I was not satisfied fully because I used to get trained only 1 or 2 at the for a 1 hour. So I wanted to train all the people. That is why I have come up with the concept called corporate health audit. Sir has helped me a lot doing all these things, and that is why I have kept my company's name All Fit, where all the people are getting fitter, healthier and happier. So I won't say much for myself. Let my success make some noise by Dr. Sir. So please, I'll ask him to come and take it forward.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks to Shekharji, Shahinji and such a lovely gathering, right? So, Health Champions, I'm very young. I'm 63. I'm a marathon runner. I'm a surgeon. I was an ex-IS officer. I am managing director of a company called Fabric Library. As was told, we have 120 strength here and we are around 300 people all over the Gulf. And I myself always a fitness freak. So I was always trying to, because I have a medical background, I was trying to see that I'm fit and all that. Unfortunately, about 4 years back, one of our young colleague, very promising young colleague of just 40, died of heart attack. He had just bought a new home back home in India. He wanted me to go for the housewarming, and I said I really cannot attend it. He called me from there saying that, sir, thank you, lovely support from the company side. My dream is true. Can I have a day's break? I said, why, what happened? He said, I'm tired. I said, maybe we've got a lot of guests and all. And next day morning, he was no more. This started the thought process in our company, and we realized one thing, that I need not emphasize upon how important these two people are for the company, right? They are the one who are actually the seed, the root of the company. You guys are all branches of the company, and this tree is going to grow. Dream big. That's what is written there. As you're going to be big, you're going to be really a company to reckon with. All that is fine. You're doing excellent things about your product, excellent things about your service, excellent things about your human resources, but we don't realize that how many of us are healthy. And I'll give you an example for that. The reason why, because every one of us wants to live long, isn't it? Who is there who doesn't want to live long? Everyone. But the problem is, nobody wants to get old. Now, can you be living long without getting old? And that's the key to the whole thing, right? So you are 40, 30, 35, 45, you're coming to the work, you're walking like this. At around 5 o'clock, Shekhar sir calls you and he says, sir, please, sir, tomorrow, sir. Doesn't that happen, right? Second thing is, I saw here lots of desks, right? People are sitting. I'm coming to that, what happens, what is called a sitting syndrome. We're coming to that. In my company, we don't have chairs. Everyone stands. I stand whole day. Everyone stands whole day. And I'm here to talk to you because I have experimented it, I have experienced it, and that's why I want to share with you. I'm passionate about health. He's passionate about shaping the health, right? I know the diagnostic aspect of the health. He knows the prognostic aspect of the health. And that's why when I wanted, as a board meeting, we had a very serious meeting after this particular demise of our own colleague. And we realized that we must do something, because imagine I'm spending almost 14 years somebody has put in for the company, and you feel he's a very promising chap, and all of a sudden it happens that he's no more able to continue in that role, right? And then imagine another person coming and replacing 14, 15 years of experience, empirical knowledge, next to impossible. So we realized what to do. And then we became serious about the corporate health audit. First, all the medical tests were done, because since I'm a doctor, and I was shocked to see that more than 60% of my staff and colleagues, almost your age, were not healthy, right? Because we are busy, we are young, the body is still on our side, we don't bother, we don't think what might happen after 20 years, and entire exercise that you're doing of working so hard is to see good old days, right? And if by the chance you cross 40s, 50s, 60s, and one after the other elements start attacking you, that's the time you realize that you haven't taken care of your health. That's one important part. So we started doing or implementing a program called corporate health audit, and I needed somebody who can share the dream, share the vision. I was scouting for different trainers. Every trainer came and said, oh, no problem, I'll come, I'll train your boys. I said, no, that's not the game. The game is I need somebody to collaborate with me to see that everybody in my company is healthy. Believe me, today we have 120 people working in our company. Not one single person is about 25 BMI in the company. We do not let a person who is having extra weight to work in the company. If a newcomer joins, we give him 6 months, right? And if you're free, you're from Dubai, every Sunday morning, 4:30 at Zabil, if you come, you will find 78 to 80 people running in the morning, 15 to 20 kilometers, me included. Every Sunday we do that. Every year my company participates in 4 marathons, 21 kilometers each. All 100 people complete it. When we start like a flock at any event, whether it is Dubai Creek Striders, whether it is Kalba, whether it is Ras Al Khaimah, we do everywhere. Last week I was in Delhi, I completed Vedanta half marathon in a good time for a young person like me. I'm 63, right? Second thing is our absenteeism in my company for last 4 years, the total cumulative medical absenteeism is not more than 20 days. People just don't fall sick. Of course, we do take care of their... Exactly. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, right?
What we want from tomorrow.
Yeah. We need that. We need that. And also, let me tell you one thing. It's not alone for the sake of company. This is the only mutually beneficial thing that a company and the employees can do together. Who doesn't want to be healthy? Who doesn't want? It's people have a wrong notion that I'm not sick, so I'm healthy. No, it's not. The definition of health is not. The definition of health is how much energy do you have at the end of the day, right? If you're using something like this, a Garmin meter or watches, etc., it has a body battery, right? So when you have a body battery at about say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, if it is still showing 75%, you are a very healthy person. If it is dwindled down to 5%, do you push yourself to the work or do you jump to your work? That's more important, right? And then, needless to say, the concentration, the level of involvement, believe me, we have quantified the efficiency in my company and we have had a 55% increase in our efficiency. If you look, my boys, when they come out of the bus and they are about to enter, they don't run. I mean, they don't walk, they run. Because it's the energy that's there, right? They work. We have compulsory 3 days gym per week. So what we have done is, with his help and guidance, we have formulated a structure of what kind of exercise everybody should be doing. We have developed a software with his help. In software, we monitor everybody's health. Every month end, we have measurements of all the body to see that they are healthy. Now, you might find that we are stretching it too far. No, believe me, this is just because we want to ensure that everybody is healthy. And that's the reason, this is one of the reasons why we are doing it. Obesity is now an absolute epidemic, right? By the way, let me tell you one thing. There is a disease that is becoming now, which is called metabolic syndrome. I'm sure you've not heard of it, right? You heard of diabetes? You heard of the hypertension? You heard of depression? You heard of Alzheimer's disease? You heard of kidney disease? You heard of heart attack, right? All these diseases are coming from one single source. So the practice of doctors in silos like urologist, cardiologist, everything, these are the terminal effects. When you get diabetes, you go to an endocrinologist to get the medications, but the diabetes started way back 10 to 12 years back. If you get a heart attack and angioplasty is done, etc., it has started 15 years back. And all that is starting at the point of diet and lack of exercise. I have some figures with me. I'm actually a doctor. I follow lots of recent advances and researches in medicine. I still subscribe to a lot of journals. Believe me, 93% of Americans are having metabolic syndrome, believe it or not. And about 73 to 74% of the supermarket foods are not food. They're there on the shelf. So only 27%, and that's because everything is laced with sugar. And it's called high fructose corn syrup, which is so dangerous because our body doesn't have anything to digest fructose, but we eat it every day. Don't you eat bread? You're eating fructose. Don't you eat bagels? You eat fructose, right? And less to say about the Indian sweets, right? Diwali is around, right? My company does not distribute. We used to give sweets. Believe me, every year we used to spend almost 200,000 dirhams for distributing the sweets, but now we are still doing it, but no sweets. Only nuts. Because we believe in that. We believe in that. My company had lots of free tea and biscuits. The guys used to eat a lot of biscuits everywhere. Now we have stopped that. Can you just see the commonest reason for the death? See, cardiovascular diseases, neoplasm, chronic infections. This is the statistics of 2017. Why we die? What is the single largest cause of death? Now, can you see 1900 and 2010? None of these names that you see in 2010 were seen when you were in 1900. Why? Because of our change in the lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle disease that we are going. Is it common to you? Have you heard all this? Your heart disease, lipid problems, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty polycystic ovarian disease, very common in women, very commonest cause of infertility, cancers, dementia. Alzheimer was never heard in our grandfather's time. We hear it every now and then. Believe me, it is preventable. Then we come to the evil trail of diseases. This is the killers that you know already, right? We all have heard of all these diseases. But from where these diseases are coming? They're coming from one single thing called metabolic syndrome. And from where the metabolic syndrome is coming? It's coming from the lurking villain called insulin resistance, which is coming because of heavy consumption of refined food, ultra processed food, right? And I'm telling you because what effect it can make or it cannot make. I can give you my own example. I haven't been to a restaurant for more than 13 years. Sounds very bad, isn't it? So what an unsocial guy I am, right? But believe me, those who continued going for 13 years, they meet me and I go to see them mostly in the hospitals because they refer to me their clinical status, their results and all that, because somewhere you need to take care of these four things. The buck stops there. The diet, the exercise, the stress, depends on how much exercise gives you. But yes, stress and the sleep, right? Now, majority of us don't have sound sleep, right? People are struggling with sleep. Yesterday, I was up in the midnight and I couldn't get to sleep for last 2 hours. Then I watched something on Netflix and then I slept. That's what generally happens, right? Believe me, I've been sleeping at 9 o'clock last 20 years. I get up at 4:30. I am a full sleep. I monitor my sleep and we monitor even the sleep of our employees because we want to know how much deep sleep they have. Because if that's not happening, now it may sound stretching really too far. Believe me, you will realize every single word that I'm talking to you once you get into the trap of the diseases, unless you take your steps now. The biggest problem that has happened between 1961 and 2021 you may not be aware, every normal average human being is eating 300 calories more than required. First of all, no one eats as per the requirement. You eat simply because chalte hai, let's go, let's party, you can meet. There's nothing wrong in meeting, socializing, everything, but every socializing happens on either the food or some colored water. I don't want to name it, but that's a very bad thing to happen because in our body, we do not have any system of metabolizing alcohol except in liver, and liver gets tired of, you know what happens to the liver after that. I'm just trying to tell you what is sugar doing to you, right? The sugar affects the same area where cocaine works. That's why people who want to give up sugar or give up tea and coffee, they get tremendous amount of headache. It's actually a withdrawal syndrome. You need to wait for 3 weeks minimum to get out of coffee or tea. That's how addictive it is. So you are not eating your food, it is the addiction that is making you eat more and more. So you need to really understand that. Look at the metabolic syndrome, how much percentage it has gone. Now almost more than 60% people in the world, and when I say in the world, you might be thinking that if you see a fat guy, he is not healthy. Believe me, 43% of lanky people have metabolic syndrome. So what do we do about it? The key factors in weight gain, you can see this is just the figures I'm throwing out just to tell you that how difficult it has become to get rid out of this issue. So we have a pre-diabetes or diabetes, high normal blood pressure or hypertension, and atherogenic. This is a medical term. What it means is your arteries are getting blocked. Your arteries are not responding properly to the heart, right? Now this is continuously happening if you're not taking up your diet and exercise. You may look healthy, you may not be. And I can bet on this. Right now, if I prescribe you about 7 investigations in laboratory, and if you give me the reports of everyone after those 7 tests, I won't be surprised if I find about 30 to 40% of you not healthy. I'm not trying to demean you. I'm not trying to scare you. But what I'm trying to tell you is, we think we are healthy, we are not. Because something is happening inside and it is giving you the signal, but we don't take that signal. What do we talk to each other? I'm not feeling well today and I want to just relax. These days there is a little bit of a body ache. You know what, when I walk on the stairs, it sometimes pains. We normally say that, right? Now why this is happening is because you are losing your energy. Energy comes from mitochondria as each individual cell, and that's not in a healthy state, and that's what we call. This is another problem we have, and there you have to agree with me. This is something called, is sitting more unhealthy than smoking? 1 hour of sitting is actually as unhealthy as smoking 2 cigarettes. 1 hour of sitting. Now I'm not saying how many hours, you can calculate yourself. 1 hour of sitting decreases your life expectancy by 21.8 minutes. And men with 23 hours of sedentary activity per week are 64% more likely to die of heart disease. It takes only 90 minutes for the blood flow on the back of your knees to slow down by 50% when you sit like this, right? That's why stand and move, that's more important. So what do we do about this? How can I get out of this? Now, one is on diet side, that's your choice, what you want to eat. And I'm not here to tell you that be vegetarian, be not, no. You can eat as long as it is food, right? Coke is not a food. Right? Drinks are not food. What is food? The food is grains, food is salad, fruits are the food. Fruit juice is not a food. It may be shocking to you. The fruit contains fructose, which is quite dangerous for the body, but God has created fruit with fibers in it. So when the fruit comes to you, an apple or any other fruit, it comes with the fiber, so the fructose doesn't affect you. But what we do is, what we should be eating, we throw because it is squeezed. And an early morning orange juice I am having, no, actually sir, you are having a bit of a poison, because that's not how it works. So you need to go what is called as low processed as possible. Anything that carries a label is a processed food. So try to eat something which is closer to what we call in medical language as de novo classification. I'll give you one example, right? You have an apple, right? So wash your apple, clean, remove the pesticide, maybe put it in vinegar for some time, clean it up, eat it. You are eating what is called as de novo 1, right? Okay, slice the apple, remove the skin, you are already into de novo 2, right? Mash the apple, you're into de novo 3. Juice the apple, you are into de novo 4, right? Add sugar to the apple juice, you are in de novo 5. So now you can imagine de novo 1, how much we are eating. De novo 1 in simple words mean go to the nature. What nature has given you in whatever form, try to eat. Now unfortunately, we can't eat rice just like that. We can't eat wheat just like that, but you can eat vegetables just like that. Salad, right? So that's why the food pyramid has to change. And in addition to this, whatever good food you may eat, if you do not have sufficient amount of exercise that you require, believe it or not, you will definitely have to suffer. Have you not noted that most of our grandparents, right, they sometimes live longer, 80, 90, right? What's the problem with grandma or grandfather? They can't get up from the chair, isn't it? You need to support them to get up. You need to support them to walk. Why this is happening? Because after the age of 40, every decade, 10% of the muscle mass is lost. You need muscles, right? You need proteins, you need muscles. Now we don't have muscles. That's the reason why you have to combine both the kinds of exercises, aerobic and aerobic, and a scientifically, medically proven combination of exercise. The problem with our exercise is one day we get completely fascinated, mostly on end of the December. Now that the new resolutions will come. Yoga, right? Now that lasts for about a week, right? Then it's gone. Then somebody comes with Zumba, right? They just go for Zumba. Doesn't work that way. You need a proper schedule, one. Two, believe it or not, you cannot exercise if you do not have a knowledgeable instructor with you. Is gym difficult to set up in your home? You can buy those weights, get your home. Why is it that it is not happening? Why everybody is not doing it? There are two reasons for it. One, you must know what you are supposed to do. And two, if education is so easy, why did you go to the school? Why you needed a teacher? Because it's in the books, everything, right? You need a teacher because he tells you how to read, where to read, which is important. He takes you exam, right? That's exactly what the fitness instructor does. And since I had this in mind, I was scouting for a good trainer. And with my luck, I met Mr. Avinash. His company has similar kind of vision. It's like by chance we met each other and it started working. We implemented in our company, and today we are really reaping rewards of what we have invested. The entire expense of this is done by my company. We do not let anything to be paid by the employee. So the gym fees are paid by us, the shoes are paid by us, the marathon dresses are paid by us, but this is not an expense, it's an investment. And I have calculated it. Believe me, it is not really a big investment for the staff that you're doing, because you're investing in them. I know for sure none of my seniors would ever get a telegram from somewhere, right? So that's why what exercises exactly does to you. And people can ask you a question, why should we exercise? I have just narrated 50 reasons, right? You can have as many, all these reasons are required for you to have exercise. So you need to exercise. And that's the reason why a dedicated instructor, a dedicated gym time, and the human resource department of every company, every management company. In fact, we have been invited by one of the management institute to produce a paper on this, because this is the most neglected aspect of human resource dynamics. So I'm actually now actively engaged in making a dissertation paper based on our experience, so that it can come into management journals, and it will be soon coming, maybe another 6 months or so from now, because we have quantified everything. So what we need to do is, a company had to do what is called as corporate health audit. And believe me, it doesn't cost much to do basic medical tests. They're cheaper. I have already tied up with some of the best names here. They come every 3 months or 6 months, depending upon, we call them. We give in the morning fasting blood. We see who is lying where. Sometimes you have genetic problems, sometimes, and you're not aware of it. But it's good to be aware of it. We tell them what to do. Every evening, depending upon which location my staff is staying, we have tied up a gym there. So we have negotiated with gym. So we've got a wonderful rates even for monthly, because you're giving a bulk of 60, 40, 50, whatever it is, right? So they go to their respective places. 3 days in a week is more than enough. You require to give 1 hour, 3 days a week, and you're done. And then if you have a talented person like Coach Avi, he not only goes through everything mechanically, but he looks at it so beautifully. He comes to know who is lacking in cardio side, who is lacking on the muscle side, who is lacking, whose problem is weight, whose problem is agility, and then accordingly he changes his structure, right? So there are structures, and that's why resistance training is what we have actually forced a little in the whole structure. He's the gentleman. So I have deliberately put his photograph here, because I as a company, I owe something to him. And when he requested today that I should come and speak, I said I'm more than willing to come, because one, I want to intend to share health and health perspective with everybody, and second, I also wanted to share, because frankly speaking, forget about what payment we make him or we take him. We've taken much more from him than what I always expected. Today, all 120 of us are healthy. Their parents, their children, their wives, and their friends are getting affected. It's a positive wave, right? Believe me, your company will be outstanding compared to any other company, because it helps in building the team. We have tremendous team building structure in our whole thing simply because of this exercise. Imagine you all are there and a senior and a junior guy is lifting the weight and he's helping him. It increases camaraderie. It increases the brotherhood. It increases the team membership. So it has turned out to be a very good input for us. Efficiency goes up. Concentration in the work goes up. And believe me, all of us, we know, we didn't hear of this word called depression during our father's time or grandfather's time, but it's almost ubiquitous everywhere we see that. So all your mental and because there is a relation, I'm a doctor so I know it, it is called the relation metabolic aspect of psychiatric illness has been strongly proved now. So those who do exercise, they release a lot of endorphins or dopamines in their body, and such a brain or such a mind where there are a lot of dopamines are there is always active, always energetic, and that's why a right combination of food and more so exercise, because food is something which we can do. We can say today I won't eat this, maybe you can tell your wife or your maid or make this. Exercise we can't tell anyone to do on our behalf. We have to do it ourselves, and we all know that we are lazy, even I am, because if it comes to exercise, we have in a medical term a term called first wind. First wind means, no, I don't want to go, not today, I'll take a break. This is what happens, right? Every time. That's called first wind. It is not abnormal. It happens. When you start exercising, say about 10 minutes down the line, you feel good. That's called second wave. So what happens is, when you have an instructor and when you have a time, you have to go. Why? Because the instructor is there, right? And then after going there, he says, please come, sir, here. Sit here, sir. 5 reps here, 5 reps there. You start doing it, right? So that's why we didn't keep it voluntary. So we have kept 2 things involuntary at our place. Joining health is not optional. You have to join, right? And very recently, I had a word with my staff. Very openly, I said, guys, I've been making you wake up 4:30, that too on a Sunday. I feel very guilty because you are anyway doing gym. Shall we change our time because it's a Sunday? Let's start at 7 o'clock. 90% of them responded saying, no, sir, 4:30 is fine. Now, how do you feel? Are they so dedicated to me as a person? No. It's because they feel they can do it. If I would have asked the same question 3 years back, they would have said, sir, jamega nahi. No, Sundays are very important for us, sir. Sunday, it's one day we get. No. And rest, everything is fine. Rest, everything follows you do. Any new initiative that the company intends to do, we find these days very few people with pessimism. People are eager to do something, and that's how together, imagine on a Sunday, as a managing director of the company, I am running with my boys, and believe me, 4 years back, I used to have a whistle in my hand, because there were some guys who couldn't run. They were like, so I used to literally push them, but in a friendly manner. Today, it's like, they feel that, sir, at this age, if you can do this, then maybe we can do more. I find that positivity coming in. That's because their mental frame, mental health is very good. Physical health is very good. And that's why I thought I'll share this with you, so that individually at a corporate level, and I have absolutely no doubt, as a corporate, this is an investment in the human resources. We do so much for our staff. We do so much for our employees because we want them to be healthy and happy. If they are happy, that's where loyalty comes. Let me give you an example. I have 120 people. New people keep coming every year, isn't it? If somebody is 10 years old in my company, is considered new, because I've got people 40 years, 35 years. I have completed 33 years in the company where I work. I have 9 people senior to me who are working under me. We have a 0 attrition rate. 0. Nobody wants to leave our company. The reason is all these initiatives that we do. Apart the fact that there are other also aspects into it, but the most important aspect we found was this. And we not only implemented it here, we implemented in our branch offices in India. We have 3 branches in India, at Bombay, at Varanasi, at Calcutta. We have done everywhere. All the GCC places. We are in Bahrain, we are in Doha, we are in Riyadh, we are in Jeddah, we are in Dammam. Everywhere Every 30th of every month, we get a mail from them, sir, our dimensions, number of days present, what they have done. And once they start realizing that it's good for me, then you don't need to push them. So somewhere an element of push is there in the beginning. A little bit of artificial pressure needs to be done in the beginning, but it works really well. So that's what I thought today. I must thank the, aware gentleman, I would say, to have given me an opportunity, and thanks to Avinash also, although he requested me, but I would say it's an opportunity for me that he gave me, so that whatever we have done, at least I could share with you. So my only, I would say, advice, because I'm a doctor, so I can always advise and prescribe, that's my profession. So I'll tell you only one thing: be healthy, be mentally alert, and have a healthy, long, absolute disease-free, energetic life till 95. After 95, I can't say. It's up to him. Thank you. Thanks.